Welcome back to Hope's Homemade Kitchen. Now you may think that I've about given up on my channel when I tell you what I'm making today. I'm making a recipe off the side of a box of Rice Krispies called Scotcheroos. It's a Midwest favorite. At every party that you go to, those are almost the first ones to go. So let me show you how I make it. I'll show you the recipe, and then I'll show you my little tweaks and how I like to make it so it's not dry and crumbly, and you're gonna love it. Let's get started and I'll show you the ingredients. The ingredients for the Scotcheroos are sugar, white Karo syrup, Rice Krispies, semi-sweet chocolate chips, butterscotch chips, peanut butter, and I'll be spraying the pan, a 13 by 9 inch pan, with cooking spray. Now these are called no bake, but that doesn't mean you don't cook. So we will be cooking and melting the sugars on top of the stove. Okay, first step, into the pan on top of the stove is 1 cup of sugar and 1 cup of light corn syrup. This is a very simple recipe. I'll let you know the tweaks that I'm making. You can go online and look at Kellogg's Rice Krispies Scotcheroos recipe. I'm just tweaking it a little bit by not putting the full amount of Rice Krispies in. It calls for 6 cups. I only put about 5 cups in because I think 6 cups just makes it too crumbly and dry. So we're going to melt these sugars, the white Karo syrup and the white sugar, on top of the stove at medium heat. Now this is another little trick. It says, place corn syrup and sugar into a large saucepan, cook over medium heat, stirring frequently until sugar dissolves and mixture begins to boil. Now that is kind of the trick. If you let it boil too much, that mixture, once it's in the bars and the bars cool, your bars are going to be too hard. So I'm just going to boil until it barely begins to boil around the edges. Do not have it come to a full rolling boil, because that will ruin your Scotcheroos. Okay, while that cooks up a little bit and starts getting warm, I'm going to prepare my pan. So a 13 by 9 inch pan, I'm going to spray with cooking spray. Now you can also use butter if you don't like cooking spray, that's fine. Okay, you want to keep an eye on this mixture and make sure you're stirring it frequently. Sometimes you'll hear this treat called Special K bars, and I think it's basically the same treat, it's just made with Special K cereal rather than Rice Krispies. So you'll want to watch around the edges. When you start seeing little bubbles, that's a good sign that you want to stop. If you can see just around the edges, the bubbles have started. I'm going to turn off the heat. And at this point, you want to add 1 cup of peanut butter. Okay, I'm going to add a cup of peanut butter. It's a little bit over the top, so not quite a heaping cup. Now the heat is off, and you just want to stir until that dissolves. Till all the peanut butter is blended in. It won't take very long. Okay, that's good right there. Now the recipe calls for 6 cups of Rice Krispies. I'm only going to use 5. Okay, Okay, and you just want to stir until that is combined. Now some people like to dump it out into a bowl with the Rice Krispies in it. You can certainly do that too. I think this works just fine. And you don't have to mess up a bowl. I see all of that good peanut butter mix in there. If you put another cup of Rice Krispies in there, that would just be crumbly. So that's why I don't like to use the full amount of Rice Krispies. Okay, that is well mixed. I'm gonna dump it out into the pan. Okay, with clean hands, I'm going to spray my hands with a little bit of cooking spray and just press it down. Okay, now in a microwave safe bowl, I'm going to put 6 ounces of butterscotch chips and 6 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate chips. So I'm going to mix that up. I'm going to melt them in the microwave. Okay, that was a minute. Okay, I'm going to put them back in. I'll let them continue to melt. Okay, that should be good. And then just pour it right over the top. An offset spatula works perfect for this. Those are beautiful, almost irresistible. Let's wait for a couple of hours. I'll be back to cut them and plate them. Okay, now the Scotcheroos have set up and the top has hardened a bit. And what you'll want to do now is just cut them into pieces, cut them into bars, arrange on a plate, or you can also put them into a Tupperware and keep them at room temperature. Now let's do a taste test. So now I'm ready to bite into this. Now this is a much more chewy bar than if you had followed the recipe and put in 6 cups instead of 5 of the Rice Krispies. I think this is just the right mix. Let's take a taste test. Those are perfect. These will be wonderful for any of your holiday celebrations, any parties you have coming up. I encourage you to take a batch of these Scotcheroos. You'll be bringing home an empty container. Thank you for joining me on Hope's Homemade Kitchen. I really do hope you try this recipe and do Scotcheroos the right way. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Share with your friends, and we'll see you next time.